You know it's serious when I have to tape and edit and upload a video for y'all. Oh, stay tuned because we're going to get right into it. Y'all got me on here with no lashes or nothing.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey dolls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since you've seen me in edited video format because I've been living my best live stream life because it's just easier for me in this season. However, for the subject matter today, I know attention spans are shorter nowadays and the likelihood of y'all going back and watching a whole live stream to get all the tea, it's highly unlikely in my opinion. So I was like, let me dust off the camera, dust off the editing software for my dolls and tape and edit this video and let them know the real tea about YouTube monetization. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of backstory about my YouTube journey, and then I'm gonna give you guys my opinion as to whether or not I feel like YouTube is still worth it in 2022. And then I'm gonna let you guys know the whopping number of what they paid me in May. I think I got my first check, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so my YouTube journey started in 2019. I secured my YouTube channel in July 2019 because I knew I wanted the name to be Daily Dell. So I was like, let me go ahead and snag that before somebody else does because it could be kind of vicious in these streets for names. And so I went ahead and secured the channel name. And then I didn't upload my first video until about October or November of 2019. So my whole YouTube channel, the birth of the idea of it really was something that I wanted to do for a while. And I was like, well, I don't know what I would do. And I guess I just got to muster up the energy and the courage because at the time I didn't have a camera. I didn't even have an updated phone. I started content creation on the Samsung Galaxy S7. And so I was a couple models well behind. And I was like, do I really want to tape a video on my S7? Like, granted, you could do anything on smartphones these days. So don't let gear stop you. Had I known that, I would have started a lot earlier. So if you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't have a camera. I have, a few models behind of a cell phone. Start. Like if it's something that's heavy on your heart, go ahead and start. But nevertheless, back to the story. So I finally started it around our move and relocation to Atlanta because my family was moving from Spotsylvania, Virginia, which is like in the greater Richmond area, to Atlanta. And I was like, well, this is a good time for me to kind of debut a channel, document my journey. I'll have things that like are just easy subjects to film because my whole goal was to be a lifestyle channel at first. And so I started off, if you scroll all the way back or like you filter out from my earliest videos, you'll find vlogs, you'll find, those kind of things. I did private a lot and unlist a lot of videos because I was doing like makeup, I was doing hair, I was doing fashion hauls and all sorts of stuff. But honestly, I realized that I like all of those things, but I don't love any of them enough to make a channel around it. Like I'm not out here buying clothes often enough for me to do fashion hauls. I'm not out here decorating my house often enough for me to have a channel around that. I'm not out here keeping up with all the latest makeup for me to have a channel around that. And so I was like, okay, I want to shift. And so I started shifting to like motivational content and so on and so forth. And then eventually I landed here where I'm at in like commentary, that kind of thing, more talking head channel. I was kind of mixing in some vlogs here or there. And even now I still do once in a blue moon, but honestly, like I'm primarily a talking head channel because it worked for me. Now on the journey to where I'm at today, I did take a few like breaks and, I took a hiatus here or there to kind of just clear my mind, figure out, but I didn't take any long breaks. I might have taken like altogether between when I started YouTube and I got monetized, I probably took a total of like 2 weeks off, and it took me 27 months to get monetized from the time I uploaded my first video until the end of January 2022. It took me 27 months to get monetized. All right, and so let that also be a lesson. If you are looking to start a YouTube channel in this day and age, give yourself a good year or two to get started. I know there are people to get started and get monetized. Let me say that. I know there are people that start and they blow up and they go viral in like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but that's the exception and not the rule. Majority of the people that I know in these YouTube streets, and I know quite a few people, and even just people that I've watched over the years, it took them about a year to 2 years on average to get monetized because this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you're gonna start YouTube, you need to understand that one, you need to really love this. If you're trying to start it because you think you're gonna be the next viral sensation in a couple of months and you're gonna make a ton of money, then go ahead and just find something else. Start a podcast or, start something like, and I don't know, something beyond YouTube because that's not going to happen. Like, I hate to be like the sober voiced person, but let me not say it's not going to happen. It's highly unlikely. I mean, you can win the lottery, but what are the odds? Exactly. So that's where YouTube is in this day and age. So nevertheless, it took me 27 months to get monetized. I got monetized at the end of January of 2022. I want to say January 24th, but it's all in my about section of my channel if you want to go check that out. And so now I'm striving to get to 5K subs, but that's neither here nor there. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and give this video a thumbs up. Helps me a ton. Free to show love. But once I got monetized, I was elated. I was like, oh my goodness, it took me over 2 years. I was dreaming of this day. This is amazing. Thank you, Jesus. I'm finally here. Let the coins roll in. Let's get it. Let's get it. I can get the super chats. I can get the channel memberships. Let's go. And I was super elated because it was a lot of hard work. At one point, I was posting like 4 times a week. I was going live 3 times a week and doing 1 upload. And then I think at one point it was 50-50. And now I'm doing like 2 to 3 times a week. And you know, I'll cancel a video if I have to or whatever, and I'll get to that in a second. You'll understand why I'm a little bit more lax now in my YouTube journey as I keep talking. And so once I got monetized, once I hit the requirements, which is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, I did everything with Google AdSense, you know, set up my account with them, all that good stuff. Everything was good to go. There was a mistake on my address, and so I didn't quite get the PIN number that I needed in order to fully set up for direct deposit. So it did take me a little bit longer. For some people, it took them literally a couple of days. Most of the people I know, it took them less than a week to get everything set up, 2 weeks tops. But for me, it took me like about 3 weeks because there was that confusion with my address and I didn't get the PIN and all that. So they had to resend one, and then I had to verify. And then once I got that, I was set up and I was good to go. So by early February, like mid-February more so than early, by mid-February, I was like, okay, we're good. AdSense set up, channel monetized, let's get it, let's get these coins. And so in the excitement can I speak of me being monetized, I got a lot of donations. I got a lot of super chats, like a lot of money was coming in. And so I was like, oh, this is great, you know? Now I knew that to get direct deposit into your account, you had to have $100 in your account, basically your Google AdSense account. And so it was racking up really quick in January and February, and then March it kind of lulled. And then it was like a slow fade into the abyss until May came and I finally reached that. Now I didn't know, because I actually had reached $100 threshold in April, but you have to have reached it by the end of the previous month to get paid that next month. So the time that I hit it in to be able to be paid for April was too late. I hit it like April 1st, when really I should have hit that $100 threshold at the end of March. I want to say like by the 23rd or 24th of the previous month. I can't remember the exact date. I can't even remember if YouTube on the back end and the back office tells you what exact day it is, but I know they specifically say you have to hit the $100 threshold by the end of that month to get paid the next month. So I would have had to hit the $100 threshold by the end of March. We'll just say the 25th, by March 25th, for example, in order to get my direct deposit by April. But the thing is, the direct deposit doesn't get deposited into your account until the end of the next month. So I would have had to hit the $100 by, let's say, March 25th again, keeping with that example, to get my direct deposit by like April 21st. So it's kind of like everything has to be checking out and like adding up by the end of the month in order for you to get paid at the end of the month. Just keep that in mind too. If you are interested in starting a YouTube channel, you do have to have that $100 before you even get direct deposit. And it has to occur before the end of the month to get the next month payment. And you get paid once a month, and it's at the end of the month, like between the 21st and 26th of the month, I believe the YouTube support page says when you look in the back end. And so I didn't know all the nitty gritty, all the nooks and crannies. I just knew I had to have $100. And so once I hit that 100 on April 1st, I was like, okay, boom, like I should get paid the end of April. I didn't get my check until the beginning of May. I'm sorry, the beginning of May. And so I was just kind of like, okay, what's going on? So I'm texting my YouTube friends that are already monetized. They're like, man, like you should have got it, this, that, the third. So I'm like, okay, if I don't get my money in May, listen. Listen, I'm going off. Like, what is going on, you know? Because you already got to think about it. It's like I was monetized end of January. I think it was January 24th, but I know it was end of January. And we're already in April, 3 months, and I have yet to see a check, a coin, a dollar coming through. And I'm just like, what's going on?
It's not even giving what y'all said it was supposed to give. No, I wasted my money.
And so Finally, May hits, I get paid, and I'm like, okay, that's when I did further research and realized that the $100 has to hit by the end of the previous month in order for you to get paid the next month. And so once I understood that, I was like, okay, cool. So all in all, it took me about 4 months, literally. But needless to say, I want to give you guys my opinion as to whether or not YouTube is worth it in this day and age. And I'm going to say yes, with some stipulations. So if you are someone that really loves video, because you can have a faceless channel, but in my observation and in my experience, when you are in the video, it does a lot better. When you're in the thumbnail or a face or something is in the thumbnail, but particularly you, the videos do a lot better, you know? So you can have faceless channels, you can have podcast style like channels, but just know that if you don't really like video, even just the process of editing it and, you know, looking up titles and thinking of topics and stuff, then YouTube is not for you. You have to genuinely love this thing, because it's 9 times out of 10, even after monetization, going to be a labor of love. So you're gonna have to do this without much recognition, without much praise, without much fanfare, without much coin, because there are different ways in which you can get paid, which I will try to remember to share in this video. If not, I'll do another video. But it's a thankless and paidless and all that kind of stuff type of job. So you have to really love video, you have to love editing, you have to love these things, or at least be intrigued enough by it to get the job done, to make ends meet. Secondly, YouTube is oversaturated now. This isn't, you know, 2010, 2012, when it was still kind of fresh and unadulterated, and, you know, the algorithm wasn't at play, and you really could just like start a channel and literally within a couple months go viral and have a huge following and success and become pretty much a celebrity, like in Hollywood. You know, those days are, in that sense, are gone. Now you can still get notoriety, you can still get fame, or, you know, money or whatever success from YouTube that you're looking for. You could build a loyal fan base. You know, there are musicians in Hollywood that started on YouTube by just doing like cover songs and things like that, or maybe not even doing music at all, like literally just doing lifestyle content, vlogs and stuff, and built up their subscribers enough to now where they can transfer that success, that following, to their music or whatever else they're doing, you know? So YouTube is great for that, but you're really going to have to understand that it's going to take time for people to find you and to really like resonate with you. I forgot the average amount of videos that people typically have to watch before they subscribe and become like a loyal fan, like where they really watch your stuff, but it's a couple videos as well. So just know that the likelihood, like I said earlier, of you just starting a video and going viral, it's very, very slim. Like those days of fast success are pretty much behind us. Also, I would say if you're going to start a YouTube channel, use this as a funnel into other things. Like YouTube is about the long game now. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So this isn't the gig anymore that you can do and it's like, boom, let's do it. We're gonna get instant success. It's kind of like when TikTok first came out and everybody was hopping on, and the people that got in the early phases blew up really quick if they were consistent. Like every social media platform, really anything in life when you think about it, but since we're talking about social media and content, every social media platform has a window of time where you can start, and if you start and you stay the course, you can really be one of the pioneers to get a lot of the success before it becomes oversaturated. And you know, the algorithm nowadays is on everything, but back then we didn't have to worry about that in 2010, 11, 12 and all that. But now, you know, before the algorithm has to sift through what content people want to see and what people are engaging with and all that kind of stuff. And so let that be a word to the wise, that if you want to be a full-time content creator, jump on things when they first come out. Like fail publicly, learn as you go. It ain't gotta be perfect. Sorry y'all, my camera died. But like I was saying, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just jump out there, learn as you go, you know, fall forward as they say, fail forward, and figure it out, but get in while you can, like strike while the iron is hot. And so with that being said, at this point, I would use YouTube for the long game. I would view YouTube as if I'm starting a brick and mortar business, or even if it's not brick and mortar, but a traditional business where the average for you to really see substantial profit is typically 3 to 5 years of doing business consistently. And so I would view it like that. I would go into YouTube with the mindset of, okay, it's going to take me on average 3 to 5 years, possibly even as much as 7 years to get to the point that I want to get to of financial freedom and independence and success. So depending on how much you want to make, maybe you just want to do YouTube and make a couple of dollars on the side, then you can accomplish that in 2 years if you're very consistent, maybe 3 if you want to like kind of slack off a little bit, but if you want to be like a multiple 7-figure business, I would say through YouTube, I would say give yourself like on average 5 years, but even as much as 7, because you might pivot within it. You might want to take some breaks. You might want to figure out some new things that you want to incorporate. But if you give yourself that time frame, it's going to shift your mindset. Instead of thinking of YouTube as a get rich, get famous, get successful, quick kind of plan, it's going to help you approach it as an actual business, making the risk analysis, taking time to think about what do I want my channel to be about, and you can always change. I'm not saying you got to sit and figure everything out like it's set in stone. You can always change. I changed my topic or niche of my channel about 2 or 3 times, and now I feel like I'm in my bag with what I'm doing, with the type of commentary I'm doing about faith in life, and just really calling out the things that others might not want to talk about publicly, like the elephant in the room. That's my bag. I like that. I like also throwing some motivation in there and stuff, but it took me a couple of tries to kind of maneuver my way into this. And then who knows if I'll stay here in another year or 2, I might decide to pivot in another way, and that's okay. And that's one of the beauties of YouTube, is that it really is about the creative freedom and the creative license. So don't feel like you got to have it all figured out. It all got to be perfect. Like, learn as you go. You won't really even know what you want to do until you try it and you realize, I don't really like this, and I thought I would, but I really like that, So just start. Like, the best thing you could do is just start. But when you approach it as a business, you're going to approach it strategically and more sober-minded and level-headed, instead of viewing it as like, oh man, it's been a year and I'm still not famous and rich off of YouTube. You're going to be like, okay, well, this is year 1. I've got like another 2 to 4 years, depending, and so on and so forth. But the sky is truly the limit. So my advice, beyond obviously approaching YouTube with a sober mind and as if you would approach a traditional business, also use it as a funnel to something else. So again, you don't have to figure this out right now. Like, okay, I want to make YouTube videos and funnel people to my website to buy t-shirts. Like, you don't have to figure all that out on day 1. Get started, take the videos, and then just let your creative juices flow. Like, take some time as a creative to be in solitude, to really let your mind wander. I personally like to be in solitude and pray to God for strategies and formulas and new ideas and innovation. Sometimes the simplest thing can make the biggest difference. And so I like to lock away. I don't really like to do extensive market research and things like that. Like, God truly just speaks to me and helps me blaze my own trail. But whatever you need to do that so that you can keep the creative juices flowing. Whether that's taking a getaway, being in solitude, taking a walk in nature, do that, and just get started. Because as you start, like I said, those creative juices are going to flow. You're going to realize what you like, what you don't like, and then you'll be able to pivot accordingly and eventually end up in your bag, in your sweet spot. And that takes time to figure out, and you will never know if you have analysis paralysis. I keep mixing up those words. If you have analysis paralysis and you don't just start. So just start. But once you get clarity as to like, okay, I can pivot or funnel people, I should say, into this or that, then incorporate that. So maybe you want to become a life coach, use your YouTube channel to funnel people to your life coaching business. Maybe you want to create courses of a variety of things. Use your YouTube channel to funnel people to your courses. Maybe you want to create a community life group, funnel people through your YouTube videos to that. Maybe you are an artist, like an actual painter or a musician or an actor. Like, use YouTube to funnel people to whatever else you have, because that can be growing while your YouTube is growing. That can be earning you money and revenue and all that while your YouTube is growing. Because the reality of the situation is too, which this will be the last thing I share, and then I'll let you guys know how much I got paid exactly, is that Google ads don't be paying, child. They don't be paying, okay? Now, the subject matter of your channel does matter. So if you are doing lifestyle content, you're doing makeup and things like that, your payment is typically going to be lower than someone who's doing like business advice and, tech and things of that nature, because your CPM determines how much you get paid, and RPM and all that. Now, I don't know all the technicalities behind that. There are numerous YouTube channels that literally teach you how to grow on YouTube, how to get monetized on YouTube, how to raise your CPM, your your RPM, your whatever M's, like check that out for all of that. But I know that those are the things that pretty much determine how much you're gonna get paid based off of your ad placements on videos and so on and so forth. So look those channels up for the nitty gritty specific details. But just know that typically when you're doing lifestyle content or certain talking head channels, anything that's not typically like finance, business, tech, things of that nature, you're going to get paid less because your CPM and RPM, and I hope I'm saying those terms right, y'all, but you get my drift. Those things are typically lower. And so when they're lower, you get paid less per video. You're gonna have to, and I really don't know how the system figures it out, but I just know that for a fact. And so personally, if you're looking to make a lot of money off of YouTube, I'm not going to say don't become a vlog channel, but you really got to think, okay, what kind of vlogs am I going to produce to be different? Because people don't know you yet. When you're starting YouTube, I don't know you enough to want to sit and watch a vlog of your Saturday morning, you know? Now, if your life is extremely like, you know, interesting and active and you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, you're doing things that aren't like the average thing, then starting a vlog channel out the gate can be very lucrative because your life is like different. Like there's something to catch attention. But, you know, I personally, and I'm not the only person to say this, there are a couple YouTube expert channels and, you know, just articles and stuff that show that vlogging takes longer to take off with. So if you want to kind of take off quicker, and my observation, commentary channels are very, very popular and growing quick. So if you could pinpoint a type of commentary, whether it's political commentary, news commentary, celebrity commentary, faith-based commentary, whatever the case may be, if you could pinpoint it, then that can help you grow. Also, celebrity gossip channels take off quickly. So if that's your steez, then have at it. You know, celebrity news, even if it's not gossip, but just news or news channels, period, take off quickly. But you got to have the wherewithal and the gusto to stay up to date with all that stuff. But if that's your thing, I would suggest doing something like that because those channels are really taking off. And I've seen people that maybe used to vlog or do more like advice videos and stuff shifting to commentary. Heck, hello, exhibit A, you know? So I have seen more growth, and honestly, I like giving my opinion on things. So it's something that I can see myself sticking with, but I leave room for flexibility. So that's all my tips for YouTube. Overall, yes, I would say start a YouTube channel, but treat it like a business. Sit and think about your mission. Think about your vision. What's going to be your topic? Is your topic in demand? Do people even really care to know about it? You know, or are you just starting something because it's what's for you? You got to think about what do the viewers want to see? What are people going to come to YouTube and type in that I could provide information for? Because that's how the algorithm works. Like, we're providing information for viewers. We're not looking at your channel and saying like, oh, okay, we like this person, we like this video, we're going to push it out. It literally looks at how people respond to your videos and your content, and then it pushes it out more if people respond to it, because it's like clearly people need this. So do your research. Don't just start YouTube kind of in a bubble like I'm gonna start and just blow up. Have a strategy, have a plan, but understand that the plan can be flexible. Now that we covered all of that other stuff, this is the moment that y'all have been waiting for. Just exactly how much did YouTube pay me? And the big reveal is that YouTube on May 23rd paid me a whopping $112.67. I know, like I'm rich now. We made it. But seriously though, like $112.67 would have been great had I got that in February, right after I got monetized. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, it took me 4 months to get that payout. So this is why I was telling y'all to not use YouTube or view it as like your get rich quick type of plan. Like, you really got to use it as a long game. I know I give myself another 2 years, 3 years tops, that my YouTube is going to be very much where I want it to be, very lucrative and so on and so forth, and a way for me to continue to push my brand out there, because I have my hands in multiple things. You got to, okay? Because if I was waiting on that $112, listen, your girl would have been under a bridge somewhere, and we done already been through homelessness. We're not trying to go back there, okay? So always keep your hands in multiple pots, always have multiple things going, especially as a content creator. And if you're doing this full time, this is why I still partake in the gig work economy. This is why I still do my business of consulting. This is why I still do content, take paid brand deals. Like, do what you got to do, okay? Like, ain't no shame in our game. We ain't gonna fake it till we make it. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. So that's how much YouTube paid me, $112.67. Took me 4 months to get that payout and for that to accumulate. But if it had hit a little earlier, it would have taken me 3 months. Still 3 months too long. So just know too that if you're gonna start a YouTube channel, that you might not get paid every month. Highly likely that first year you're not gonna get paid every month. So just keep that in mind as well. It's gonna be every few months you get paid. Maybe 2-3 times out the year, maybe 4, you'll get a payout. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope that this video was informative. If you have any YouTube questions, particularly like maybe you're looking to aspire to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you started one and you're like, okay, like what else is there to know about monetization and so on and so forth, go ahead and drop me a comment down below. And if you're someone that maybe you started a YouTube channel and you're like, I need to get this more cohesive, I've learned a lot of things along the way, I've literally taken a lot of pitfalls, and I would like to help you avoid doing the same. So look in the description box and book a creative consultation call with me. I would love to talk with you. And those calls are not just for YouTubers, but also if you're interested in starting any sort of side business, or any sort of side business, let me say that, or any sort of like, you know, business on this that you might actually want to make to be a lucrative business. So go ahead and click that link, schedule a call with me. I would love to chat with you. But other than that, again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. I would love for you to be a Dell doll, and I will see you on the next video.